Hello and welcome to this lecture on history of Java. Java is a new programming language created by Sun Microsystems in the year 1991. It was initially called as Oak by its creators. It mostly took its inspiration from languages like C and C++. Most of its syntax just looks like C and C++, whereas the object-oriented principles of Java are inspired by the language C++. Like C++, there is no constraint for Java to run C programs. It made help by growing independently for Java. It added new features in the future and remained in scope. Since C and C++ were widely accepted by the developers community, Java became natural selection for the developers in the future. Even the learning curve for the people was good. Like whoever have developed C++ in earlier stages, it was easy for them for getting used to the new language. You may start asking one question: why a new programming language is required? It is must. One thing for sure for an invention of new language is to adapt to the changing environment and the users. For Java, it was invention of the internet and people were looking for some language which is platform independent, because C and C++ were mostly platform independent. Whenever you want to run these languages in a different platform, you had to compile the source code to that particular platform. And another reason was implement the improvements in the programming. For Java, there was scope for improvement for memory management. Since also it was developed from scratch, it was possible for it to do the things differently than C++. For time being, it will be useful to understand the history of C and C++, to appreciate it, why the new language was invented, and how the natural invention of the Java has happened. Let us understand the time when the C programming language was invented. Let us travel back to the year 1970. During these years, the assembly language was mostly used as a programming language for computer software. Languages were mostly used by research scholars and mathematicians for their day-to-day tasks. That does mean that these were very complex to understand and very difficult for a layman to understand and write these in a normal way. Also, there was a lack of mainstream programming language which read like normal English. Also, during this time, there was more demand for the software. Since there were not many people who could develop, the invention for C was right time. Because of invention of the C language at the right time, it became widely accepted by many people. It felt like it is a programming language developed by the programmers for the programmers. Coming to the C++, people were happy doing coding in C. It became highly highly unmaintainable code at the end of 10 years. Like larger softwares had many modules, there were clashes in the namespaces, like the same functions got used in multiple ways, and there were too many variables that are floating around. So people thought there could be another way of doing things. That is when the object-oriented programming paradigm was invented. So C++ was the first, which was called as C with classes at the beginning. After invention of the C++, There were classes were introduced into C programming language. The C++ had backward compatibility for C. Like most of the programs written in C could also be compiled with the C++ compiler. So this was a turning point for largely maintainable code, and object-oriented programming paradigm was little introduced by using C++ programming language. This also made stage for Java to be the next future in the year 1991. Then comes the year 1991. You can imagine a time when there were multiple different types of machines that are there. Like there was IBM's machines, there were Windows machines, there were Macintosh and Unix machines. All these machines were running C and C++ code, which were compiled by same source code for different environments. There was dire need of a programming language which was platform independent. For each of the new operating system or architecture that is there was a requirement of writing a new compiler. So writing a compiler is not a very easy task, and it required a specialization skill. So Java fit this territory perfectly. It came up with a solution which is platform independent, where the same source code can run on multiple platforms. Like one source code with the different compilers could run same source code in different machines. So it was a right skill at the right time with the right source code.